Hi, this is Dr. Patricia Woods of Woods Institute checking in. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, Woods Institute has suspended Washington, D.C. based and field-based classes on Congress until we know that travel is safe. However, we wish to continue to connect with our clients through webinars. Woods Institute has a 5-year record delivering webinars on the public policy process tailored to the interest and needs of our clients. You can see from the slide that our clients from all across America have participated in our webinars. Those of you who have taken my classes may remember that I have often said 3 months in American political life is a long time. It is the spring of 2020. We are in the midst of a very serious pandemic, which has brought death to tens of thousands of Americans and has infected well over 1 million more. Less than 6 months from now is Election Day 2020, November 3rd. President Trump is seeking re-election. All seats in the House of Representatives will be contested, as well as 1/3 of the Senate. What follows is a mini webinar with a preview by Woods Institute of the upcoming House and Senate elections in the fall. It provides an example of the webinars we will offer tailored to our clients following the election results in November. With the exception of George H.W. Bush, every president in the last 40 years has experienced congressional elections when his party lost control of one or more houses of Congress. The most recent was the 2018 midterm election, which resulted in the Democrats winning the majority of the seats from the Republicans in the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives reconvened in May 2020. Concern for the health of the members, as well as their staffs, has mattered greatly. Rules and procedures for voting remotely on legislation for final passage on the House floor and virtual committee hearings do not exist. New ways forward were being found. Woods Institute is offering general commentary regarding the 2020 elections for the House of Representatives. More detailed observations will be made in early August. Many changes, crises could occur over the summer. Remember that 3 months in American political life is a long time. Observe this slide. There are 3 times the number of Republicans retiring from the House than Democrats. As the House reconvenes in May 2020, the leadership will remain the same. Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House. Steny Hoyer is Majority Leader of the House. James Clyburn is the Majority Whip of the House. Leading the Republicans will be Kevin McCarthy, the Minority Leader, Steve Scalise as Minority Whip. But the big question in the spring of 2020 regarding congressional elections is the Senate in play. The Republicans control the Senate, but the Democrats are offering challengers from across the country. Of the 35 seats being contested in the Senate this year, 23 are held by Republicans, 12 are held by Democrats. Every congressional election, every 2 years, only 1/3 of the Senate is up for re-election. This particular year, the Republicans are contesting 23 seats and the Democrats are contesting 12. Look at the chart. If you notice, there are 3 Republicans retiring from the Senate and only 1 Democrat retiring from the Senate. What we'd like to do is show you who is retiring on the committees that have jurisdiction over your agencies and what the possibilities might look like for the composition of the committees in the upcoming Congress. The Senate Agriculture Committee is a key committee for the USDA Forest Service. Notice that its current chairman, Pat Roberts of Kansas, is retiring. But there are 4 other Republican members of this committee that are up for re-election. there are actually 2 Democrats who are facing re-election in 2020. The Senate Energy and Natural Resources also has jurisdiction over the Forest Service, as well as the National Park Service, the Fish and Wildlife Service, the Bureau of Land Management, 3 agencies in the Interior Department. Notice that of the Republican side, there are 7 seats being contested, one of which Lamar Alexander holds from Tennessee. He is retiring. So that exposure at the ballot box for Republicans on this committee, there are 6. Notice there are none for the Democrats. The Senate Environment and Public Works Committee also has jurisdiction over public lands agencies. This is where consideration of the Endangered Species Act takes place in the Senate. Notice that there are 5 Republican seats that are up for re-election on this committee, and there are 3 Republicans. And finally, there's a Senate Appropriations Committee that has jurisdiction over the funding for all of public lands agencies. There are currently 7 Republican senators who are up for re-election who serve on this committee, and there are 5 Democrats. Very importantly, notice the Senate Subcommittee on Interior, Environment, and Related Agencies. This is the subcommittee that oversees the annual funding for public lands agencies' budgets. Notice that there are 5 Republican seats that are up for re-election on this particular committee. Lamar Alexander is retiring from Tennessee, and there are 3 Democrat seats that are up for re-election. Tom Udall of New Mexico, the ranking member, is retiring. We hope you enjoyed the mini webinar on the preview for the 2020 congressional elections this fall. There'll be an update in late summer. Do remember, 3 months in political life is a long time. Just to remind you that the Woods Institute would be more than happy to offer webinars tailored to your agency following the elections in November. Patricia Woods signs off. Do stay safe.